Well, howdy, and welcome back to the Withlacoochee River Railroad. It's Gary here with your, well, it looks like this week we're going to work on a bunch of buildings. It's not too bad, really. I don't mind working on the buildings. I ended up having to fix the RS1. It shredded its traction tires too. So, I think I'm getting a little bit better because it's running just as smooth as a baby's behind here on the layout. Now that I put more traction tires on, I think I'm getting used to working with that bullfrog snot a little bit. Seems to work okay. I'm not going to complain too much about it. Well, the steps came off. What do you expect? Came off of the signal tower. We're gonna fix up this signal tower today and get it to where it's ready for being actually put on a layout. I've got that kind of yellowish colored paint in there. I think what I'm going to do is just go with the basic lemon chiffon here, and I'm going to get a little bit better coverage on the on that. Let's see here, and we'll get this kind of, what I ought to do is just glue that door shut, huh? I always want to glue the door shut. Have you ever noticed that? Alright, what we're going to do here is we're going to get this built, kind of painted up. This lemon chiffon isn't too far from being a almost depot buff. So it'll look fine once it dries and I get the trim colors in. And then we weather it. Once we weather it a little bit, it ought to look pretty good. So, let me make sure that I'm getting this on videotape here so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm making sure that you're seeing what I'm doing. We're going to paint this thing up a little bit, get it all purdied up. And, that's not a bad color, is it? As it's going on. This one is representative of a wood-built structure. And yeah, you notice it looks a little crappy at the moment on the edges. You see that big old crack there? That's where it was broken and off. Somebody had busted it all to pieces, and I ended up putting it all back together. But this part of it, this wall was, part of it was very heavily glued to the other wall, and it had broken right there. And that's probably why I got this whole building for $0.25 off of Zitnik's 25-cent table. It was in a plastic bag, and I got it. And hey, I couldn't complain about the building for 25 cents. And that was in 2024 when I got this, so we'll try to mask that a little bit by filling it in with paint. And then when the paint dries, maybe it won't be so, that big old crack there maybe not be so visible. And you notice I'm not painting any of the yellow up here. That's because that's going to be the contrasting color. I believe the contrasting color would probably be better if it were brown. A dark brown to kind of go with this yellow. Yeah, I'm going to have to glue the even on plastic, you want to go with the grain of your fake wood. Don't want to go against it. Although you can feather it out like this a little bit. Now you might be asking, well, why aren't you painting it with the airbrush? No, that's no fun. This is a building. This isn't a car. Paint job doesn't have to be perfect on a building. Y'all should know that by now. Especially if you work with wood, real wood. You know, like basswood and stuff. I'm just trying to get it a little more color to set in here. And then we'll come back in with much finer paintbrush and get it looking a whole lot better all of a sudden. And like I said, a nice kind of medium dark brown for the trim. Almost be like a Denver and Rio Grande Western paint colors there. Not quite, but you get my drift. Once that paint dries, it'll come out fairly smooth. Like I said, we're not going to get up around those windows, so because those windows are going to be the contrasting color. Yeah, this building had been turned back into a kit again when I got it, so like I said, a piece was, they glued it together pretty well, I guess, and when they busted it apart, that one piece just broke all the smithereens there. So that's why you got that big old crack along the alrighty. We got all the lemon chiffon we're going to put on it. We're going to probably detail this building a little bit better than we did the other building. The other buildings are going to be more of a background building. So this one here, the plans aren't for background building, but it's going to be a foreground. Sorry. It's going to be more of a foreground building because it's a trackside building. So, and another one I want to kind of work on here is this one here. I want to get this water tower up to snuff. And water towers and signal towers. I want to take and get these bands painted. I want to get the spout back on. The spout, it's not a badly detailed part. It's just not really super good detailed part. So we're just going to have to figure out how we're going to get it on there because all of its attachment points have broken off. I think it can be gotten back on. We can make new attachments for it. Get them on there. I think we could anyway. Let's see here. Now this one is a Lionel structure. It was one of those Lionel kits that was brought out back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, during the MPC era. Lionel, some of their kits really weren't bad buildings. I mean, you take this here station. It's not a bad building. It's a pretty nice building. I like it. Gee, I have one door missing here. Wonder where that is. Huh? It wasn't missing before. Oh well, we can fix that up. Anyway, and these were put out by Lionel, and I have to give Lionel some credit. They didn't do too bad on these kits. They actually did pretty decent on the kits. But what we're going to do on this water tower here is we've got to get it. I don't know, maybe I can pull this out without doing, oh great. I see where it's attached. It's attached down here at the bottom. So, let's go ahead and, where'd my nippers go? Oh, they're right here, okay. I'm going to nip this in the bud right down here. Alright, now we've got that off of it. That gives me a little bit more control on painting the detail in. Those bands around the tank would never have been, they might have been painted when they were new, but they weren't. This has been painted. So, I'd say probably don't really have a light enough black, do I? Well, that's jet black. That's too black. I got pavement. I've got burnt umber. Let's see here. I'm sure I've got regular black somewhere. In fact, I know I've got regular black somewhere. Here we go. Black. Just plain, ordinary, everyday black. Alrighty. This one's going to be tedious. I'm going to warn you. It's going to be tedious and it's going to be painful. Not impossible, just painful. Yeah. And just think of how painful it would be if it was yeah, probably be better off if I had a paint pen, huh? Because I'm terrible at this. I am absolutely terrible at this. It's also a plastic structure, so that right there should tell you. Now, a lot of this crudiness will probably somewhat disappear now. Oh, got a wild hair in there. That's just what we needed. I know I'm not perfect. Far from it, matter of fact. They really didn't provide that much relief, which in reality, in real life, there wouldn't be that much relief on that. So, yeah, you gotta love those kits where there's not only plenty of relief, and don't worry, there's gonna be messiness made up on it when we put the rust in. So, oh yeah, there's gonna be rust on it. You just gotta take your time at it. And yeah, you're gonna make a mess, and I've made a mess. Of course, I've made a mess. Oh, don't that figure. You can't just dry brush this stuff. I'm not worried about getting it on the... Alrighty. Don't just love painting those things? Aren't they great? Aren't they fun? Model railroading is fun. That's what I've heard anyway. That's what they tell me. We got a ladder right here that's, or yeah, somewhat of a ladder. It's kind of molded in. Something, oh, okay, that's where the water spout goes. All right, all right. All right, we're going to turn some of that into a black wash. Now you might be asking, why is it I'm not painting the those uprights there. Those uprights should be wood, and probably would have been painted right along with the tank as it was painted. Now you notice it's not perfect. It's really not perfect at all. But you'll notice that when I make these details pop later with a black wash, a lot of the mistakes will just wash down with it. Alrighty. And yes, they're going to be nice and rusty as normal. Oh yes, this tank will get weathered. Jeez. Makes you almost want to give up, doesn't it? We ain't going to give up. We're not going to do anything of the sort. We're going to keep on going till we've got these bands all black. I'll show you another way of hiding all this mess I'm making. There is a trick to it, and almost everybody that paints their structures on a regular basis knows this trick. It's just an old detail painting trick, an old modeler's trick. It's one that that I'm just now coming up to the part of remembering. not to worry. It's gonna be all right, Mabel. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna survive the storm here. Yes, we are. I'll go back over it with some lemon chiffon. Actually, it's probably a different color yellow there. But that's all right. We'll find it. I'm sure I've still got some. Alrighty, we've got that in. I know, it looks horrible. It absolutely looks just atrocious, doesn't it? I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, dang, if I painted like that, I couldn't win a contest to save my life. Well, you're right. You couldn't. Let me see if I can find my other yeller. Because I know that was, I know that that's not the same color yellow I did. Well, it might have been a color I had actually mixed. I'm just wondering. So, what did I mix it with is the real question. Did I mix it with classic caramel or golden brown? Huh. I couldn't tell you. Well, we're going to have to make it look a little bit better. Because I really don't want to recolor the whole tank, if you get my drift. Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to get my thing down here. And I'm going to squeeze in a little canary yellow. A little nutmeg brown. See if that helps. See if that does anything. See if I got it, if I got it even remotely close, huh? Probably didn't, but hey, that's a story of my life, right? Nope, nowhere near it. Okay. Well, you come in and you work it in just like that. And you just cover up the black that you got everywhere. That's all you can do with it. Like I said, this is an old trick, old modeler's trick. And you just come in and you just work it up under it and over it. You really only just need the suggestion that it's there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody gonna know that you're not perfect. Guess what? I'm not. Okay. No, the water tank, the water tower here is not going to be El Perfectamundo. Sorry. That's often the way things get done. You just come in and preferably with the same color that you painted the tank with, that's the color you're going to use to correct all your mistakes with. It doesn't often work that way, but we'll get it there. It's just going to take some time. Well, I did make a mess out of it, didn't I? The coverage doesn't have to be perfect. And I can assure you on this one, it's not going to be. I think we all know it's not going to be. Not to worry, it's just a dirty old water tank anyway. And when we come, like I said, when we come back over with the weathering and the black wash on this, and I know what some of you are thinking, oh, why'd you even bother? You've done a terrible job. You're right, I'm doing a terrible job. I really don't care. At least my stuff will be my stuff. I know, a lot of these guys, you see these layouts, where a lot of them, they don't really, this will be the part here that's facing the tracks. Alrighty. I'm going to let that dry because it really needs to. We're going to go and come back over here to this. And this is where I'm going to need to use more of a detail brush. And we're going to get this all, let's see, nutmeg brown. Now, barn red would be too red. Golden brown, classic caramel, khaki, no, not khaki. I guess nutmeg brown is probably what I've got the most of. So, we're going to go with nutmeg brown. Nutmeg brown gets used off of that, and barn red often get used as weathering colors. But it also comes in as other types of color too. All right, here's where we're going to start putting in the contrasting colors. Damn. I'm not good at cutting anything in today, am I? I haven't been too good at it since I lost sight in my right eye, so I used to be able to do this like a champ. Now I can't hardly tell what I'm doing. Can't tell where the brush is when I'm trying to get it down onto its subject, and then I land in the wrong place. But I ain't giving up either. I will have to take and redo my roof anyway, or some of that roof section anyway, because it got paint all in it that didn't belong there. Okay. Get this belt rail painted over here. Yes, this can be tedious. Usually is. And yeah, I'm eventually going to have to take a break at it. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Yeah, I can. All right. Okay, we're going to let that dry. Then we're going to come back and work on getting it right some more. Okay, I finally just went around, did the touch-up and everything on it. I've got to put the steps back on it, of course, obviously, and I'm going to take those out and shoot those with spray paint, I think. just to get them painted. But the signal tower itself is just about done. I think I'm going to make that a yard tower. It's a good-looking building. It came out okay. Like I said, I paid all the 25 cents for it off of Zitnik's table there at the train show. I was right over here in Brooksville and I remember getting it. I remember the day I got it. That was last year. And I thought, well, I can put that back together and I'd have a yard tower anyway. We're going to put window glass in it, of course. Because, well, it deserves window glass. What can I say? I guess I ought to get that last window painted. The one over there on this side that goes under the stairs. So, let's go ahead and just do that real quick. I still have paint out, so why not? I'm not going to bother painting the other lines on here. I've got this thing too far along to do that, to worry about that. So the painters, they forgot to do it. You know, you just can't hire good help these days. You know, the real question is, would any railroad that's trying to stay within budget in an economy where rail traffic is actually, you know, beginning to fall off a little bit, would any railroad take and pretty a signal tower up like that? Probably not. Probably not. It's not likely. Now, would they have done it in the 19th century? You better believe it. But it's not really likely in the 20th century or the 21st century. So, let me show you how we're going to get us some window glazing here. Ain't that hard to get. Let's see. Rayovac High Energy Duracell Power Price. Okay, alright. Now, yeah, it figures. These people love to play with me. Gee, do I have any better stuff than that for the moment? Let me check. Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. I got this here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Let me get my trusty scissors out here. You wonder why I've got so much trash in here. Well, it's just one of those things. Alrighty, let's see here. Everybody buys stuff in these bubble packs. This plastic is, this clear plastic that it comes in is perfect for making window glass. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's discovered that. It's not very hard to make window glass. So, although it'd probably help if I cleaned it off a little bit. I'm not too worried about it staying clean, but alrighty. Now, in order to make that fit, we need to cover about 4 windows at a time, don't we? So right about there. Let's see if it fits, shall we? Need to trim it. Needs a little trim. Alright. And there's plenty more where it came from, so. Alright. Now, where is my, there it is, way over there. Okay. And you just glue it in with the regular plastic weld that you would normally use. Get it to hold down in one spot, and then you can hold it down for the next spot. Okay. And we got glass in there, don't we? Scheiße. Cut another one. This building doesn't require too much window glass, so just a small. All right. Very good. Remember when we were building the train station over there, how I had to basically do the same thing. And again, we got more window glass, and it's covering it up just fine. All right. And now one more for the big windows. And I am just betting I'm going to have to shorten this up too. I'm going to have to shorten it two ways. So that way, and probably about like that. All right. Oh, still need to be don't ever want to take off too much, because I don't have any window glass stretchers on hand. Alrighty, we're in. It glues it right down, right where you want it. Alrighty. Okay, now we need to get the bottoms of the windows down. That's not as difficult as you think. You just come in, hold it like this from the back, and hit it from the front. And it doesn't take it long, and you're not going to leave much in the way of marks. It's going to get marks on it. It doesn't matter. We're not worried about perfect glass here. Alrighty. Do the same on the next one. And then come around and do the same on the next one. Alrighty, and we got those window glasses in. They ain't going nowhere. So let me go out and get this painted, because I don't feel like painting it by hand. So I shall be back in a bit. I didn't know I had that turned off, because all of a sudden the camera went off. Anyway, I'm going to reiterate what I said to a camera that wasn't rolling. For the most part, the signal tower is done and pretty much ready to be blackwashed. I've got window glass in it all the way around, and even in the little windows down on the lower floor. The paint work is pretty much done on it, so it's really not a bad looking little water tower, signal tower, is it? Even for being one of those El Cheapo. It's either Plasticville or K-Lineville. I don't know which. But it's a cool little building. The water tower, like I told you earlier, it's a Line L model, and we're going to pick that up in the next episode of Building the Railroad. So until next time, happy railroad. Oh, wait, let me run a train for you. Just in case this thing was totally off. Yes, my RS1 runneth again. So let's go for a joyride.